How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the show. We are back. We are back again. Took a few days off streaming. Still tweeting. Still tweet. I still like saying tweet. Post just sounds. If you say tweet, people know where you tweet, where you post. If you say post, it's just not there. So, welcome back again, everyone. I'm excited. I'm excited to get into this one. This is something that, again, there's all these narratives you can think about, all the conspiracies you can believe and hope and want to happen, and all that stuff. But there's a few things where they actually make sense, and there's not a lot of dots to connect other than what all the things that Richard has said before. And that's something that I've been spending a lot of time on, a lot of research, a lot of people, when they say research too, they just like, yeah, I Googled for the morning or for a couple hours and then thought about a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I've been using AI a lot and been tweeting about it a lot as well. And I've really found some superpowers with some of these platforms that can really help me go through and research and just find all kinds of amazing stuff that it would take a lot more time for me or a team of people to put together. So I'm amazed all the time at it, and I want to use that as a superpower to help us figure stuff out in the community. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So one thing that I wanted to talk about that I think is super important, that I think I'm the only one talking about as of now. Tell me who else is. I don't know. I think this is probably a more interesting idea to popularize is this super app narrative of vertical integration, and not just a wallet. Of course, it could be a fork of MetaMask, it could be a wallet, all those pieces. And when you say it, it's almost like it's not even exciting as much anymore. It's kind of like, oh, it's a wallet. We already have wallets. We have community wallets. We have, super popular wallets that millions of people use. But if you think about it, the wallet really is your entry into crypto if you're not using a centralized exchange. And so for DeFi, like, your wallet again gives you access to your keys, and you can then do what you want with your coins. So it's just, I don't think it could be underrated how important and impactful it could be to have Richard, PulseChain devs, release a wallet and to get that kind of vertical integration. So that's something I kind of stumbled across the other day. I've been thinking about it for a while, but when I was doing the part 1 through 3, one of the parts I was just kind of just thinking while talking about some of the different new products that could be coming up for it. And that's just something that started putting the piece together. Wow, this really makes sense. Like, why wouldn't, I don't know. It's just, it isn't one of those things that you really have to, I don't know. It's just easy to imagine. Like, one of the most easiest things to imagine I could think of is having a type of super app based on all the different things that RH has talked about before. It makes something, again, there's a lot of different pieces to get into over it. We'll talk about it. But I do really want to lay out the case for this and help you see how interesting and how this could totally happen. It's not one of those like, oh, it may happen, or, if all these things came together, it happened. It's like, I don't know, I no expectations, but I almost expect it. It's like one of those, I don't want to expect it. I don't put expectations, but it would be funny if it didn't happen. Like, if we didn't see this be the next big product that gets released. It did Hex, PulseChain, PulseX. We've had various upgrades and things, and kind of value added pieces here and there. You got the bridge, you got all the stuff forked from Ethereum, all these different pieces. World's best marketer taking a break right now. Hopefully he comes back as well to pop up on the mic and start promoting the PulseChain just like we do as well. But the next piece in this really does make sense to be a type of super app. More than a wallet. Not just a wallet. I don't want you to think about, oh, it's just a wallet. It's just just something that, we already have or anyone can build, or, it's not going to make a big difference. I think it can make a huge, huge difference. And that's what I want to talk about. I'll break it down today, all different. There's a lot of stuff to get into. So buckle up, chat. Buckle up. We're about to get into it. I'll get to chat in just a minute. Appreciate you all, though. So this is just a mock-up, a drawing of that I got AI help me with a lot of different things. Kind of visualizing these pieces, how it'd work, all the things. I tweeted this one the other day, and it's really turning out to be this, wow, like so many things just make sense. I think the only thing that is kind of sorry, there's just so many pieces to get into on this. I'm going to go down a lot of different threads on each one of these two. Only one that's kind of like almost feels like copium is earning the ink for it, because that's kind of like, oh, it sounds cool, but also inflation, right? Unless it came from some other place where ink wasn't inflating. It came from, I don't know, like any other place, like a place where the ink had already been earned. Maybe there is some sort of like, oh, let's do a contract where it's already been allocated over here. It's not inflation. It's just getting transferred from one place to another. Almost in the realm of like a DAO. But I know, again, DAOs with money and all of that stuff is, we don't know if it's going to happen or not. It could be, we don't know how Richard feels about it, how it will be, implemented now as well. But just think about it, really, with this post. Like, you wake up, Richard tweets, it appears that a new PulseChain product has arrived. Go download the mobile app. Go try it out. What do you all think? And it, from all intents and purposes, it feels like to users, it feels like a wallet, right? Yeah, just call it Pulse app just to, as a placeholder. But it feels like this place where you could do crypto. And, he's talked about forking MetaMask. If you're doing a wallet, would you rather fork MetaMask or what? I don't know how many times on this show I've talked about, if you haven't seen this link by now, this is supposed to be the first time you're watching the show. You haven't caught the other 10 streams where I talk about Richard's, the list of things that list of dev things that could be happening. Especially showed a lot during the recent streams as well. But you can even see on this one, wallet, replace MetaMask, Electron app for cross-platform. Electron app is just like a way to kind of like putting, JavaScript on your desktop type of deal, just a way to make like a web app on your desktop to do cross-platform. It supports Windows, Linux, Mac, all this stuff. And it's just a way to have that. So I think Richard is kind of old school too, and likes desktop stuff. And, again, crypto on mobile, people have different feelings about it. I don't prefer it. It's different security stuff around that too. But just in general, he's talked about MetaMask. He's talked about doing wallet several different times. So it really just makes sense that something like this would happen. And when I say SuperApp too, a lot of times you think of SuperApp, you think of like, oh, it could do groceries and deliver food and pay my bills. And like, there's different kinds of super apps, but this, I'm just kind of branding it, the narrative, as like a super app, like a crypto super app, where it does everything you want it to do. And it's, PulseChain first. It's, it has Hex integration, for example, staking. And I talked about this a while back too. I always thought it'd be interesting to have like this buy on like hex.com if they had a buy and auto stake button where you could buy it, and then it's kind of like, checkbox stake for 1 year, stake for 5 years, like whatever. And that another way to like get people to like lock up, stake long term, not just buy. Again, you could just buy without doing that, but like funneling them towards being able to, stake. And whether it's, I know that yield's not that much right now, but again, talk about all the reasons why yield is the cherry on top. Price appreciation is what you want. And if you save yourself from selling it too early, you may get more gains. I know it looks funny right now in a market where the price has been down a lot, where you're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have staked because I could have sold it earlier. At the same time, it's like, yeah, it's kind of one of those traps. It's always like, there's this meme where it's the thing that goes around in a circle. It's like, oh, the price is too high. Maybe I'll wait later to buy it. And then the price goes up. And it's like, or the price goes down. It's like, oh, the price will probably keep dipping. I'm not going to buy right now. I'll wait. And you get stuck in this loop. I get stuck in this loop of just not indecision, right? Like analysis paralysis. You're not able to make a decision because of you just keep waiting on one thing or another. And again, that kind of relate that to staking too. But anyways, so X integration, the earning ink thing, I'll get into that too. It could be that, it could be another wallet token too. Again, ink is just, I think everyone points to ink because it is, hey, give this thing utility. It needs utility. Nothing needs utility, right? It's like, can you send it? Can you buy it? It's kind of like Bitcoin. You can buy it. You can hold it. Can't really do anything else. Price went up to 100K, over 100K recently, and it started at much, much lower. So it could be even another token. There could be, I don't know how many official, was it like 5 official RH tokens? Got the 2 hexes. Even some people's like, oh, only the PulseChain tokens. PulseX, Inc. So is there another token? Is there a, are we trading the Wall ticker, the WAL ticker? It makes me think of Eric Wall. So maybe you'll name it something different than that. The virality coin, the VR coin. I don't know. That kind of didn't quite roll either. What's a good name if he doesn't do ink token? What's a good name, chat? The vertical token. There we go. Vert. I feel like that's already a coin, or it used to be. Anyways, let's go on to different pieces. So again, the framing of SuperApp. Taking a lot of different cool things and putting them in one. So I'll switch over to this link as well. I'll share it, where I talk about, the 5 different products I can see launching. I kind of put SuperApp in here, although the rest of the 4 are kind of related. Only one that's like less related is number 4, PulseX. But all the rest of the ones, 2, 3, and 5, plus the pieces I talk about here, are all kind of related to what could happen in the SuperApp. So again, he talks about the replace MetaMask, more bridges. You got V3. That could be for PulseX. It could be PulseX V3, which is kind of funny. We got V1, V2. It kind of like, it would be so amazing if it was just, oh, we have V3. V3 is literally Uniswap V3 built in, or it takes you there. So that'd be funny. Stablecoin from my exchange I'm making. This is about 3 years ago. I wonder if in 3 years' time, has he made an exchange or made progress on such thing? Could be. So the 4 biggest pieces that would make up the SuperApp. Wallet, of course. Again, it seems like the no-brainer to fork MetaMask here. Like, why would you create something new? Use something battle tested. It goes with the narrative of Ethereum too. Having something that you could just fork and benefit from the updates and upgrades they do while making it the way you want it. So forking MetaMask makes the most sense to me. And then the exchange portion. So I think, having again, swaps built in, just like MetaMask does. I wonder also the swap fees. That's the interesting part. So the MetaMask swap fees, let's see. Where does MetaMask swap fees go? Does it go to JP Morgan? Meta swap fees, including gas fees and any additional fees, ultimately go to Ethereum network. Now I'm talking about the in-app swap feature fees. I think that goes to consensus, right? Do I really need to use AI for this one? Okay. Where does the fees associated with MetaMask in-apps swap feature go? Made me do it. So this is in-app apply. This fee typically around 0.87%, incorporating the quota price for swap collected, directed to MetaMask infrastructure submitted for the contract known as MetaMask key complex, multi-sig wallet. Okay, so it goes consensus, right? That's what it appears to be. I wonder, I kind of want to look at this wallet too. So let's look this up in Etherscan. Can we see how much they have in there? Link to wallet balance. Every time I've had to Google, it's just like, just use the AI. Here we go. So it's pointing to this one. Yeah, so it's so from here. So MetaMask swap router. I wonder if this is it. Okay. So it takes a portion of the token. That's why it has all these different tokens. It has, over 300 some tokens, it looks like. So it's taking a portion. Let me see. Let me get clarification on this. So this fee. Address holds over 300 tokens. Does it take the percentage of each token swapped? Just want to confirm. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. Yeah, that makes sense. So that gives you a breakdown. When you use MetaMask in-app swap feature, MetaMask routes your trade through various DEX aggregators. SuperApps pair swap adds the fee of that much. The fee is taken in token you receive, not in ETH. Okay, it goes directly to the contract. Okay, that's why it ends up holding hundreds of tokens. So if there was a fee for the in-app for the PulseChain SuperApp, for example, where would that go? Would that, we get the pump tires thing, again, whether it's Richard's product or not, it would make sense. There's different ways for this to happen. So if there was in-app swap, would it be free? Would it be 0%? Would it be slightly less than MetaMask is? So for marketing, right? Oh yeah, or this much less. Similar to how PulseX is a little bit cheaper than Uniswap, I believe, for marketing. Oh, we're a little bit cheaper, all that. And for the fundamentals of the ecosystem, it would make sense to, we're a buy and burn place, right? Like PulseX does buy and burn. Pump.tires, I was going to talk about that, where a portion of that burns PLS, and when it graduates to PulseX, then it can start contributing towards buy and burn stuff there. So could it do something like that? Could there be another contract that holds a ton of tokens, but this contract not only holds them and enriches consensus, for example, Richard's not enough for money, I got all the money, all that stuff. Could it then be used to, like, whatever it gets, to go and buy and burn the core coins or Pulse or whatever too? So it's kind of interesting mechanics that could happen when you start doing wallets. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, this stream you're going to learn, it's going to be pretty technical. You're going to learn a lot about how different components work in DeFi as well. So that could be one. So we have let's go back to the pieces here. So the wallet, you have the exchange. So the bridge integration, and maybe more bridges. You got to set a lot of times too. Go real DeFi, which points to, gives you the verifiable links and stuff to the and views into the IPFS apps. Could be the bridge. So if you go there, just go to GoRealDeFi.com, also known as PulseChainApp.com, same points to the same place. And you click bridge. I talked about before, this bridge, right now it's OmniBridge. It supports, I think OmniBridge supports different chains as well, different EVM based ones, like supports Gnosis and supports maybe BNB, something like that. In this one, we only have one. It just says Ethereum. Why can't there be a drop down that says Ethereum, Solana, Base, like all this stuff? I could see this getting a an overhaul, a revamp as well. And that's just, that's kind of separate. That's like, okay, there's PulseChain Bridge, or maybe there's just another instance of something, spin up some new contracts, and another front end for some bridges to other places. It could be built in, it could be two separate things. But the integration for the wallet, upgrading the front end stuff really doesn't matter for that. It's more about seeing what's been deployed, what kind of bridges we have to different L1s or L2s or otherwise, and that could be built into the wallet as well. So just I think Internet Money also has the swap from different chains. What was it Tiger Crypto God did a video the other day, and he was like showing like how to go from it's like transfer assets or something, go from Ethereum to PulseChain after you buy ETH. It was pretty neat and super easy way for people to get the money on PulseChain too. So stuff like that, where it's like, where is your other money? How do you get it on PulseChain? And then exchange. So again, talked about any other thread, stablecoin for exchange I'm making. Talked about making a change, building one. We'll see. But it makes complete sense to have these different pieces, like the different onboarding, the different fiat in and out. Again, buy from your bank pieces, not just bridging for other chains, but what are all the ways to get money into PulseChain? You have bridges and you have fiat on-ramps. Like those are the two biggest ways, right? Like how do you get stuff from other places onto PulseChain, whether it's, fresh money or other coins that maybe you want to trade. So the exchange part, that could be interesting, literally. And what he said recently about, I think the last video, what was the quote when he's like, I can't remember. Was it a tweet? Maybe it was a tweet. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick. Keep calling it Twitter today. Going to the x.com. He made the post about either, chat, correct me. How did he say it? He speaks in a lot of different ways. Through the blockchain, apparently, on X, on the videos. But he talked about how it's one of the marketing ones where if they don't do it, then we'll have to or something, which makes me think, was he talking about if the exchanges don't list us, am I going to have to buy an exchange to be like, no, the player, to guarantee we'll be listed and stuff like that. I really don't. I know we're doing this stuff. I talked about this. I don't like begging exchange to list us and stuff. I know there's better and worse ways to do it, and you can argue if we need it or not and all that stuff. But it's one of those things where we're PulseChain. Our founder is Richard Hart. No middleman D. Again, we can have them, but I don't want to be like, oh, please, I don't want my crypto bag number to depend on if we get listed on exchange or not. And I just don't think people are going to want to list us because they don't like our founder. They don't like our volume. They don't like our whatever until they do one day. But as of now, I just don't think there's a good chance of it happening. So I just don't plan on spending all the time hoping a big exchange lists us. I think if it happens, it'll happen once we're, again, going vertical. Once we get another 10x and 20x and the volume goes up and we 10x our daily active user, all that stuff. Like right now, I don't know. I probably won't be spending a lot of time doing that or hoping for it, but just because it's like, why would they? I don't want to be at the mercy of some exchange. And it feels weird. I'm not congratulating them, just like wanting them to happen so much. Like I want to build internally. I want DeFi stuff. And yeah, exchange would be cool too. Exchanges help us in all these different categories. But it's not, I kind of want Richard to do an exchange. I could totally see the different pieces and the strategy with having centralized onboarding, people from exchanges, and being able to use exchanges to get into DeFi whenever they want, and using the DeFi route. having bridges. And because the exchange could do the fiat on-ramping, and because the exchange could do the fiat on-ramping, it could do, whatever, all the other exchange features and margin trading, market making, all this stuff. And people want to play in that area, can play in that area. And then they can also have options to play in the DeFi area. And some of them are going to come in and they're not going to be ready. If we want to attract new people probably barely understand what crypto is, let alone all these different stuff they have to do in DeFi. And now they get to forget about the private keys and like all this stuff. If you want people to come into PulseChain and have a good time, there is good, positive community atmosphere. There is making money, because a lot of people come in for that. And there is a sense that they don't need to have anxiety and worry about all this stuff. And they have options and can choose how to do it. And a non-starter, a lot of times, is just getting set up with all the things you need to do to get as deep in the depths of DeFi as we got. So having the different options makes complete sense in the marketing world. So I wouldn't underrate that. Real quick, let me find this. Find this one. You know what? Should I just search from Richard Hartwin? Do it ourselves. Let me check chat. You guys say anything about that? Sorry, chat, won't be able to get too much today because we got a lot of stuff to cover. And not gonna be doing a 2-hour stream. But let me check. I like this too. Take a look at your coin's price. Whose job do you think it is to make the price go up? It's your job. Bitcoin went up from nothing to something because Bitcoiners built every single piece around it to make it go up. And they did it against all odds and alone. So can you. Go work. I like that. I missed that one. Let's see. Have to do it? Have to do it. I'm just going to search do it. And that was a recent one. I'm going to move on if I can't find it here. All right. Wherever he said it. Pretty sure he talked about it. So that could be something with the exchange piece as well. So, and that could be a stable coin from an exchange too, right? So you get the self-custody, you get the wallet portion of the app. You've got the trading, the exchange integration, centralized exchange, decentralized exchange with PulseX, centralized with if we have a centralized exchange piece of it. You have the bridge, so moving assets, and exchange can also, I guess exchange, I don't know if there's like a link on that piece, but moving assets, you could do bridge, exchange stuff. I mean, you could just like send it. Actually interesting. Would the wallet be able to, the exchange exists like that where it's an exchange, but you hold your own keys too? I guess that's just not really a common feature of what you would think of as exchanges. So interesting. And then privacy. So that could be in a few different things too. So we got Railgun. That's something I tweeted about today. There's all the ZK stuff. Yeah, I'll get into privacy here in a minute too. Sorry, I got a lot of different stuff to get to. So let's go through the setup too. I want to see like what this would look like, because now it's like, okay, download MetaMask, download Internet Money, download whatever your gateway is into crypto or DeFi. So this could be, you download the Pulse app, you download the SuperApp, like whatever it's called, desktop editions, mobile edition, browser extension, whatever. And then it would be basically the same process as MetaMask, except PulseChain would be the default, of course. And then it's automatically going to have all the PulseChain stuff, and you're going to be able to see your token balances for all those things. And, you can do transactions. And if there's the ink reward stuff, you can do ink rewards. Okay. And probably a bunch of different stats and metrics pieces that could probably be interesting too. So I'll flip back over to so you can get a visualization of this. There'll be a lot more buttons, I imagine, as well. But this is kind of like the simple looking view of it. And then the in-app swaps. So think about there's a lot of different MetaMask stuff that could really have some interesting supplementals for PulseChain in this. And by the way, I'm going to be thinking and stuff as I go, because a lot of the stuff I've kind of thought about and fleshed out, but a lot of it can kind of, if I have some new ideas or things I want to think about while we're going, they may come up too. Yeah, the multi-bridge thing, I feel like we really, having that integrated into the wallet where it's like, drop down, where do you want to go? Go from Solana, go from wherever. Bridge your coins to PulseChain, or trade them, swap them. It's not even like bridging. It's just like, I want to swap my soul for PLS or whatever. So the stablecoin portion too, that's a piece where, you have the one, if you have one that's backed by reserves, all these different stablecoins and how they work. So on the exchange portion, so the exchange, there may be a stablecoin, like a centralized stablecoin for that one. Again, it fits all the onboarding and, regular crypto, non-DeFi stuff. And then there's the decentralized one, which again, will that be a new coin? How will that manifest? I think, so there's those options. And then, on the ink, I'm still not sure. Oh, sorry, I was going to go privacy too. So privacy, maybe there is some like automatic privacy on, where you can do private transactions. It's got Tornado Cash type stuff built in. It's got mixing. It's got address rotation. Maybe a privacy toggle where you can toggle from left to right, how private do you want this to be? And it has all these, things that come from that based on what you choose. I think privacy, that'd be pretty cool. Selling people on, I know there's only privacy is a niche, of course, but that would be pretty cool to be on PulseChain, we have private transactions by default. That'd be pretty cool. I think a lot of people are looking for those tools too, those reasons to be this is the chain that I want to use. This is the only chain I need to use because of this. All right, I'm going to stop there for a minute. Talk to chat. Let me scroll up. Say hi to everyone. How's it going, Extra PulseX? How's it going, man? Hopefully we get some cool debates and stuff going on. Still thinking, I know I've talked to a lot of different people about different Extra PulseX talked about the different team debates and stuff too. Which one's going to pump harder and different ideals floating around. The EHEX versus PX. There may be a team one for that. Around, I don't know if Johnny's gonna be interested in it, but it looks like it may be me, Axis, and Dipcatcher to do that. So, that should be a really fun one. We're all gonna versus each other. That should be fun. And then I got I guess set something up with Corey Geary, talk about Puerto Rico and crypto taxes and stuff like that too. Should be pretty fun. And different tax benefits. Should you Puerto Rico or should you not Puerto Rico for your capital gains and all that stuff? And what else? And then maybe some other ones floating around. I haven't got a lot of confirmations yet, but I think either next week or the week after we'll kick off some more debates. I think that people enjoy those. I enjoy them too. I think we all learn when we talk talk to each other, express points of views, all that stuff. Godman Marcus, how's it going? Let's go. Crypto Jake. Welcome. Good to have everyone here. Crypto Dan, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Bitfinesse, Hex World Reserve Currency, Pulse and dollars on chain, dip liquidity, swap instantly, transaction fees, support the network, PulseX Gold, efficient, buying very scarce. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. Even more to come. Again, this is like the SuperApp thing. Again, let me know, does it not make sense? How many times have you talked about vertical integration? Doing all of these different things. Why wouldn't you combine them into one thing? Again, this is speculation. The app does not exist as of now. It may never exist, just like any other thing coming up on PulseChain. But boy, does it make a lot of sense. And talk about some killer features and some pieces that could really do easy onboard. So imagine an onboarding conversation. Right now, it's like, get ETH, bridge to PulseChain, or get on Binance and send it to your DeFi wallet and then transfer it, or get on PulseChain, use Coast, get a stable coin, go from there. With an app, that is your gateway into crypto, right? Gateway into DeFi. Instead of install MetaMask, install your money, install whatever, and do all these things, which again, we've got the friction down a lot. Like this, it is the easiest as it probably can be today. Easiest as in like from what we have and what people worked on. A lot of great work went into it. But if you got an app like this where everything's integrated, you just set up the app and click a few buttons and you're done, and you're able to trade and bridge and stake and all that, earn coins, whatever. Centralized exchanges, decentralized, bridge from other chains. All this, and it's bullish, and it's doing like a buy and burn, or it's doing all this stuff for other chains or for the core coins. It's pretty cool. Fox Modder, how's it going, man? Min integration, sir. Oh, you never know. Maybe 2 more weeks. Who knows? Pookie welcome. UFO has landed. How's it going, UFO? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see. What if I'm going to get to all the questions today, comments, but I'll get to a couple real quick. The finesse, what if Hex accumulated from users' instakes are used to make the deepest liquidity pools everything on Earth, just crypto? What if before buying, you just need to buy it with Hex? What if Hex was like the main pair, maybe? Or what if instakes are used to liquidity alternatives? Instakes. Yeah, I'm not sure if you talk about the OA instakes or otherwise, but big events like that or accumulation of Hex could be interesting. Yeah. Duke, how's it going, man? Tam, how's it going? Good to see you. All right, scrolling. We got Squirrel. How's it going, man? Definitely number 1 today. Ready, steady melt. Talk about a face melt. I would like to see face melting price action. If you're looking at the price every day, that ain't my style. I don't care what the price is today. I see it goes ups and downs sometimes, but I'm focused on building. I got a marketing project coming up. I got some ideas around SEO and doing some content, and hopefully being able to onboard some new people and make it, be able to get people into PulseChain when they're searching for crypto stuff. Very excited for that new project I'm working on. So got a few different projects I've been building. I've built a few things. I have a few other things I want to build and again create and share with you all as well to make this place go to the moon, right? Go do the work. Yeah, be an inspiration to other people. How's it going, Hex Wizard? Welcome. Hex Farmer, good to see you. UFO asks, does mobile app lacking cold functionality make it unattractive risk adverse? Yeah, so I'm not sure if let's ask her quick. I feel like there is something, let's say, can MetaMask on mobile support hardware wallet and cold storage. Let's see what it says. I feel like that's a thing. I don't use crypto on mobile very much, but limited support. Okay, so it's got Wallet Connect. Yeah, so it can support some MetaMask on mobile, supports Wallet Connect, which some more hardware wallets, Ledger Live, mobile support. Okay, so there's some support. Ledger via Bluetooth and not Trezor. Okay, so there's different stuff like that. So it's actually interesting, like market opportunity too. Like, what if, Pulse Wallet has these features? What if it has the hardware wallet support that MetaMask is? What if the devs are working it right now? What if they're testing it? What if they're in private test now right now, testing? Over there, one of them's got a Trezor, and he's like, "Oh, cool, it works. Yeah, it works. Ship it to the next testnet, all that stuff, the next test repo." So that could be another feature. And then if it's desktop based, there's plenty of tools and stuff for that. So that's why I think the desktop version, mobile version, browser extension, there may be some differences in between the three different manifestations of the super app, but we could have some killer features. I mean, imagine it crypto exploding. Like, how much marketing could we get if we're like the first? Well, this new fork of MetaMask supports, these different hardware wallet stuff. So we got privacy guys, we got security guys, we got all these appealing to all these other niches. We got DeFi guys, we got people who want to make a lot of money guys, like all that fun stuff. Takes former node just to have a day's worth of cash in wallet. Good point too. If you are using something that's not using hot wallets or otherwise you have some risk profile where you don't feel like it's that safe, then there's burner wallets. There's don't put a lot of money in wallet thing. There's, go to Google DeFi and click security. I've talked a lot about these. Me and Ben Dubards, I had him on the channel a lot too, talking about the hardware wallet stuff. A lot of different videos. If it ever loads, I can show you how many different videos on security, talking about related stuff and a lot of other stuff as well. 66 videos. When's the last time I did a crypto AMA? I feel like it wasn't that long ago. Let's go to the bottom. 3 months ago. Oh yeah, the Bybit thing. I did a security stream on that too. And 4 months ago, this is actually a really good one. I did with Kong. We talked about a lot of different stuff. So yeah, I recommend that. Don't lose all your money in crypto video. That was pretty good. Just type in RHMax. Do not lose all your money in crypto. It's a really good one. All right, back to the lists. Back to this stuff. And get your questions in. We'll go for another probably 15, 20 minutes or so. So we got DEX integration, got bridge integration, we got stable coins, we got maybe hardware wallet support. Could be some game changer industry stuff. Could be earning Inc. or another wallet token. Chat, what would the wallet token be called? Tell me. Right now it's VERT token, vertical integration token, which is definitely a placeholder. Please don't call it that. Let's call it PLS2. No, come on, give me a good name. Cross-platform. Trying to look at what else. Tornado Cash. Got the Railgun. I think Railgun's pretty interesting too. So I tweeted earlier about Railgun. So Ethereum. So I've been looking into Ethereum more lately. Actually, Vitalik, I watched a Vitalik Ethereum in 30 minutes or less video. It's actually pretty good. If you want to know how PulseChain works, it's a fork of it. It's pretty good. So I come across this post. So Vitalik retweeted it. Ethereum Foundation has staked 50,000 Rail token. So apparently that's a token for governance for Railgun. Can claim active governor rewards and protocol fees. Railgun is and always will be technology aligned with Ethereum values. So this is one where, like, what if PulseChain devs deploy and integrate Railgun for privacy features on the wallet? So that could be something to yeah, let's just give us an idea too. What would Railgun support look like in MetaMask? Keep it simple. We got the Twerk wallet. The Twerk token. You earn the Twerk token. Be fine. Wall token. I know I said wall token, but yeah, that's makes me think of Eric Wall too. The Mint token. Well, Mintra. You got the ticker kind of in the ecosystem right now, but the Mint token. How about the Super token? I don't know. I feel like all the tickers are probably mostly taken by some of them more popular projects than others, I guess. So how do you when you choose a new ticker, do you look at what's out there and you try to, or you just don't care if there's like crossover too? Anyways, Railgun integration in MetaMask. It's like private wallet mode. Yeah, it could be on by default. What if Railgun, their Pulse app, the super app, gets a by default private wallet mode? Yeah, it could just be like a toggle thing. Or click shield funds, click shield on asset. Okay. And then MetaMask sends it to Railgun's privacy pool. Yeah, maybe you don't want to have it on by default, but you have like maybe a privacy mode then, because a lot of transfers, you probably, you're just want to be like a fast transaction to do something. But Railgun or private native to wallet, there's that. Pretty cool. That's actually really, again, people like, it's really cool to be able to send a token to another wallet and have it be private. Like that's pretty cool. It's been interesting for like chain analysis going forward too. Once privacy becomes, mainstream or super popular or default even, it's like, how do you do a chain analysis? And I mean, the tools and stuff get better and all that too, but good for users. But then like there's different metrics that'll probably mess up and stuff too by trying to track all these things. Big brain founder guy probably thinking about that. Probably may have some cool updates and answers and stuff too. So the hex staking, I think the native hex staking piece could be interesting too, where you're able to stake and buy and, again, premier asset on PulseChain, all that fun stuff. And we'll see if PulseX gets a lot of new features. So V3, liquidity pools. Again, if you click on exchange, I could totally see there being a button that's just like V3. So if you go to liquidity, you want V2 stable. You can totally see V3 being there. And however they integrate it will be interesting too. So V3, and then single sat staking, limit orders, bridge integration. I talked about that in the previous videos too. There's an on-ramp buy button, all those cool things. Could be interesting. And I think one of the other things I wanted to talk about before I wrap up too is, how would you know? I've been thinking about different ways of like how to see if things are changing or getting launched, because how we see it today is, somebody in X would be like, look, the deployer address that launched PulseX, just deployed stablecoin features on testnet. I'm going to post an image of the GitLab getting updated, something like that, which I kind of had a double take earlier, actually. So I'll tell you, PulseChain.com. So if you go to the PulseChain.com GitLab, if you scroll down, do you see anything interesting? Do you see anything interesting here? PulseChain mainnet 1 week ago. That was updated 1 week ago. Everything else is like months and years. But PulseChain mainnet was updated 1 week ago. What does that mean? And if you go to it, it isn't, it isn't, you go here and there's only 3 commits. It's just kind of like a instruction place. It's just kind of got the technical information, all that there. But if you go to, where are we at? If you go to Where's the issues? Issues? Oh, I really prefer GitHub over GitLab. I don't know where anything is here. Operate, deploy, build, code. Issues, plan issues. So you'll see there's no code there. There's no nothing but instructions really. But like 1 week ago, you could see people, who have questions or errors or issues or otherwise, they can create issues to get help from the devs or whoever's looking at them here. And you see 1 week ago, that was the update for the repo. So it wasn't that there was new code on the PulseChain mainnet from 1 week ago. It was that date takes into account, I guess, both the code changes and the issues. So it was just this one. But if you just looked at it, it's like, oh, at first take, it's like, whoa, what happened a week ago? Was there new code there? If you're not familiar with the repos, then you might think that too. So how can you find out with updates and things happening on PulseChain other than just relying on other people to see them? A few different ways. One interesting and easy one, for example, is something that I used before launch days, and that is crt.sh. So for example, this is certificate, basically monitors for new certificates. Certificates, when you launch a new service or website or whatever, a lot of times that comes associated with getting a new certificate, and a lot of this stuff is all public information. So this is how I saw, I did a lot of videos before PulseChain launched of here's the infrastructure stuff that's happening and how you can kind of get a heads up, if nothing's been announced, but you can see they've stood up, they've deployed a new server or something. You can see it on here. So you can even see here that a lot of these, I guess, are just the different. Actually, funny enough, let's try this out. So remember when Richard tweeted about IPFS stuff? Let's go do this real quick. This might be fun. So let's go from Richard Hart. When, I don't know what he tweeted, IPFS dot something. He was tweeting the latest IPFS links, didn't he? I think he tweeted it. It might be somebody else too. IPFS bridge.pulsechain.com. I'll just try a couple. .bridge.pulsechain.com. So these are just short links to the IPFS stuff. So let's see which one he tweeted, if he tweeted it. Shoot. Go to hex.com. What would he have tweeted? You know what? I'm just going to let's do bridge, and I'll just see who tweeted about this. Anyways, so the idea would be, like, for example, if Richard tweeted about it, maybe he tweeted about it the day after or the same day or something. But if you were looking at this, if you were looking at the different servers that were being registered with new certificates, you could see that, on the 8th of May, that there was new IPFS links. Now that's not as interesting or important because, that wasn't like a new service launching. That was just the IPFS shortcut links that point to, I think they point to the latest. Yeah, that's what, they point to the latest version of stuff. So kind of similar to, I actually tweeted about this, kind of similar to what GoRoadDeFi does. Not similar as in it's not a view from, actually. Let me go and see what this does. Maybe I did it. Let me make sure it works the way I think it does. Okay, it just redirects. Okay. So with GoRoadDeFi, it uses an iframe, a verifiable. You can verify, it's all this stuff. And this is just, I guess they have some sort of automation that automatically points to the latest version of it. So it just redirects it, and you still get this long, URL that looks like that. Instead of, GoRoadDeFi, you just click bridge and you got bridge.pulsechainapp.com. So this is one way to see if there's new stuff. And this is what, during launch, I was like looking through it and being like, okay, do I see mainnet links, stuff like that, anything to show me new stuff is launching. And you also get, you can see a lot of the different services that are on PulseChain. I could do a whole stream like talking about like what all these different stuff are. You got the graph stuff, you got a lot of testnet stuff. You can see actually the testnet stuff. I mean, a lot of these are just maybe a lot of them are just probably just certificates getting refreshed and stuff too. But it gives you an idea of what the infrastructure behind PulseChain, the testnet maintenance stuff is. So you can do PulseChain.com. You can do curious. Have a look at hex.com for a while. Yeah, you just got the IPFS. You got in April buy to hex.com. Where does that go? Let's go to buy to hex.com. Okay, just redirects to hex.com. Okay. And yeah, go to hex.com. You also got, richardhart.com, which is down. I don't think it works anymore. I haven't had any updates to any new certificates or anything since, probably when it went offline, probably around that time, 2024. I would just guess. And if you do PulseX.com, yeah, this one. So on the 16th of May, downloads.hex. Where's this go? Where's download. See, some of these I don't even know. They may just be like downloads. Oh, that maybe gives you, okay, it looks like a S3 bucket. So this probably will give you a link to the download hex.pulsex.com. So if I go to go.hex.com, it gives me links here, but these should point to the GitLab links. I don't know if there's other downloads or hosting stuff there. I'm not sure. So what is pulsechain.pulsex.com? Discover new stuff. Could be. Okay, so that points to another bucket. Looks like enable public access. Yeah, I assume it looks like a bucket. Is this your bucket? Can I look at the CNAME domain info? We're getting nerdy right now. I'm curious if I can just see what it points to. So this points to PulseChain, PulseX.com, Cloudflare. So what does that point to? Stream there. Yeah, it's behind that, so it may not. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so this is like stuff like I don't even know what it points to. It's just it looks like it's pointing to maybe a place to share files or something, or a bucket. I'm not sure. So pretty fun to look at those and see. That one's been around for a while too. Even it just got refreshed, so it's not really a new one. It's just maybe that could be interesting to look at too. So that's one way you can look at the different, are news servers being stood up, all that stuff too. You can also get it on the GitLab. So if you go to the GitLab, so if you're signed in, I think you can do like notify me when things change. It's like, if you're signed in, you can be like, watch this repo and like email me if things change or something. I think that's a feature too. A lot of stuff we used to use back in the day before PulseChain launched. So you can still, after PulseChain launch, looking for new features. And then, so that's the two. So you can monitor the code. You can monitor the infrastructure, which is the domain stuff and the certificate stuff. And you can monitor testnet deployments. So that's why you see somebody a while back, it was like, oh, it looks like StableSwap's being tested, or privacy. What was the privacy thing? Some privacy thing was being tested. Because we saw on PulseChain testnet from someone who it looked like a dev or something who was deploying this stuff. So could be testing it. Although, if you want to keep things super secret, maybe you have a private testnet. You're not using them on, even v4 of our testnet, which I think is the latest one. Maybe you're keeping them on some private testnet that's not public, and you're doing the most sensitive stuff there to not let anyone see it, because all this is public information, right? Like it's the stuff that's out there, and it depends on if people notice it or not, right? So you could do that. You could look at different API changes, maybe the websites or otherwise change different API calls, have new features. Yeah, that's an interesting one too, where, because I did a whole thing on like how to disassemble, like how to download the IPFS app and how to look for the changes and what changed and stuff in that. So if you see new stuff in that, then yeah, let me know if if you just look at, let's see. If you just type in from RHMax IPFS app, yeah, this one. I did that a while back. Went through and I was like, how can I want to download it. I want to see what changed. And then like, I diff basically to see what changed between PulseX version 105 and 106. And I talk about the technical process and how to do that stuff too. So I dropped the link in the chat in case anyone wants to nerd out on that. So you can check that. That's like 4 or 5 different things. Any different place where devs are making changes. That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of it is private. So a lot of it we're just not going to see because they're not putting it on, even on public testnets or public repos. They're just keeping it private until they want people to know, because they know that, if it's public, then if people are, they see new stuff come along, then there you go. They can see it. So pretty cool stuff. I think that's all I got. I think that is the ideal of the super app. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, why wouldn't it happen? Like, I've heard Richard talk about vertical integration. You've heard him talk about privacy and, stable coins and exchanges and museums and all that stuff too. Bridging, getting people in. Yeah, I think a wallet, well, again, more than a wallet, a super app type of thing for PulseChain makes a whole lot of sense. I'd really like to see it. So I don't know. I would love to, will it happen or not? I don't know, but I feel like that's something that not a lot of people are thinking about. And like, why aren't you thinking about it, by the way? Like, why, if you hadn't thought about the next, I know, people get excited over the wallet and stuff too, but even beyond that, like, what could take PulseChain to the next level? I know there's all kinds of great community projects, people still building on Hex and doing all this great stuff. But what could really, when we're ready to get marketing viral and, again, we're ready for 10,000x again and all that fun stuff, what needs to be in place to make that the most frictionless possible experience? I think a super app is a great way to do it. So not be surprised again if that happens. So anyways, what do you think? Let me know. Are there other features? We had talked about privacy and staking and earning tokens, all that stuff too. What other features do you think should be in it? Let me know if you have any ideas. That's all I got for you today. Sci-Vibe and 5555. We are out.